So you've probably looked at a cool website and thought, wow, how did they even build that? Or maybe you've been thinking about a career in tech, but it just seems so overwhelming, right? What do you even start? Well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the world of web development. And we're going to show you that this isn't some secret club for tech geniuses. It's an awesome, creative, and super rewarding career path that's more accessible than you think. We've got the complete roadmap for you right here. Here's what we've got lined up. First, we'll tackle the big why. Is this career still a good move right now? Then, we'll walk through the essential prep work you need to do before you even touch a line of code. After that, we'll map out the two main roads you can take, front end and back end. And we'll wrap it all up by giving you an amazing resource kit so you can get started like today.
Okay, let's get right to the million-dollar question. With all the changes in technology, is web development still a smart career choice? The short answer? A huge, resounding yes. But let's dig into exactly why that is.
First things first, let's just make sure we're on the same page. What is web development? Well, at its heart, it's the craft of building and taking care of websites and web apps. This could be anything from a simple one-page site for your local pizza place all the way up to a massive, complicated platform like Instagram or Amazon. It's really the art and the science of bringing ideas to life on the internet. So, why is this field still so hot? Well, a few big reasons really stand out. One, pretty much every business, artist, or organization on the planet needs a website just to be taken seriously. Two, marketing these days is all about custom landing pages, and someone has to build them. Three, companies are always updating their tech in what's called digital transformation, and that means they constantly need new web tools. Four, the tech itself is always changing, which just creates more new, interesting jobs. And the big one, all of that adds up to insane demand, which means great job security and, yep, really good pay.
All right, so you're in. You see the potential. But where on earth do you begin? Now, I know it's tempting to just jump right into coding, but trust me, a little prep work is going to make your life so much easier. Think of it like this. You wouldn't start building a house without a solid foundation, right? Same thing here. Before you write a single hello world, there are 4 things you got to do. First, get a basic feel for how the internet actually works. You know, things like DNS, which is basically the internet's giant address book, and hosting, which is the piece of land on the internet where your website will live. Second, get the main ideas down. Front end is what you see, back end is the brain doing the work behind the scenes, and the database is the site's memory. Third, get comfy with your computer's command prompt. It looks intimidating, but it's a super powerful tool. And fourth, install a code editor like VS Code. This is your workshop. It's where all the magic happens. Nail these 4 things, and learning to code will feel way less scary. Okay, let's explore the first big path you can take, front-end development. This is all about what the user sees, touches, and interacts with. If a website was a car, the front-end developer builds the dashboard, the comfy seats, the steering wheel, and that slick paint job. It's the entire user experience.
Every single website you have ever visited is built with these 3 fundamental technologies. They are the holy trinity of the web. HTML gives a page its structure. Think of it as the skeleton. CSS provides all the styling, the colors, the fonts, the layout. And JavaScript? That's what brings it all to life, with interactivity, animations, and all the cool features. You absolutely have to know these 3. They're non-negotiable. Now, once you start building things, your projects are going to get bigger, and you need a way to keep track of all your code. That's where Git comes in. Think of it as a super-powered save button for your entire project. It lets you create checkpoints you can always go back to, so you're never afraid to experiment. It's also how you work with other developers without stepping on each other's toes. Honestly, this tool is a lifesaver. Once you have the basics down, it's time to level up with a framework. A framework like React is like a professional toolkit full of powerful, pre-built components. It lets you build really complex, interactive apps way faster than if you were starting from scratch. It's the difference between building a house brick by brick and using large, pre-made wall sections. It's a total game changer.
And the final step on the front-end path is all about professional polish. This is where you learn build tools, which are smart little programs that take all your code and package it up perfectly so your website loads super fast. You'll also learn about testing, which is writing code to automatically check if your other code is working. This is what separates a hobby project from a professional, rock-solid application.
Now, let's pull back the curtain and peek at the back end. If the front end is the car's slick interior and controls, the back end is the powerful engine, the transmission, the whole computer system under the hood.
It's all the logic, all the data, all the stuff that happens on a server, totally invisible to the user, but absolutely essential for anything to work. Just like the front end, your back-end journey starts with picking a language. You could stick with JavaScript and use something called Node.js. That's a great option if you already learned it for the front end. Or you could pick up a different language like Python, which is famous for being easy to read and super powerful, especially with data. This language becomes the building block for all your server's logic.
So where does all the information live? User profiles, blog posts, product inventories, it's all stored in a database. There are two main flavors. You've got relational databases, which are really structured, kind of like a set of perfectly organized spreadsheets. Then you've got NoSQL databases, which are way more flexible and store data more like a collection of individual documents. Part of the job is knowing which one is the right tool for the task at hand.
Okay, so you have a front end and a back end. How do they talk to each other? The answer is APIs, Application Programming Interfaces. You can think of an API as a really well-trained waiter in a restaurant. The front end gives an order, the API takes it to the kitchen, the back end, and then brings the food back out. REST is just a very popular set of rules for how these waiters should behave. Mastering APIs is the glue that holds modern applications together.
Last but definitely not least, the backend has a huge responsibility when it comes to security. This is where you learn to protect your application and, more importantly, your users' data. You'll learn how to write tests to catch bugs and how to defend against the most common types of attacks. There's even a guide called the OWASP Top 10 that's like the official playbook of security risks to watch out for. This isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a critical part of being a backend developer.
Whew! Okay, that was a ton of information, I know. But here's the good news. You are not alone on this journey, not even close. This last section is your personal toolkit. We've put together the absolute best places to learn, the must-have tools for your toolbox, and the communities that will have your back every step of the way. When it comes to learning this stuff, these two are the gold standard. FreeCodeCamp is incredible. It offers a full-blown curriculum that takes you from zero to a professional developer with tons of projects, and it's all completely free. Then you've got MDN WebDocs. Think of this as the official encyclopedia for everything web-related. Anytime you're stuck or confused about a piece of code, MDN has the correct answer. All right, your toolbox. We already talked about VS Code, your digital workshop, and Git, your project safety net. The third one you absolutely need is Figma. Now, it's technically a design tool, but developers live in it. Designers will create the beautiful mock-ups of the website in Figma, and your job is to turn that pixel-perfect design into a real, functioning website. It's your visual blueprint. Seriously, don't try to learn this stuff in a bubble. It's so much easier and more fun with others. A site like DevTop, too, is like a giant coffee shop where developers of all levels hang out, share articles, and help each other out. And CodePen is an awesome online playground where you can build little front-end projects, show them off, and get inspired by what other people are creating. Finding your people will keep you going when things get tough.
So let's circle all the way back to that first question we asked. Is this career path still worth it? I think this quote from our source material just says it all perfectly. The demand for a digital footprint has never been higher, making web development an evergreen and high-paying field. Evergreen. That means this need isn't going away. It's a stable, valuable, and genuinely rewarding career to jump into.
So there you have it. We've laid out the entire map for you. The why, the first steps, the different paths you can take, and all the resources you'll need to guide you. Everything you need to get going is right in front of you. So the only real question left is, where will you begin?